Welcome to GuideMia. Today we're going to talk about installing and pairing the Cympha Agent Manager. The Agent Manager is the small Windows tray app that connects a workstation to your Cympha account. It's what makes agent uploads, automatic case downloads, folder watching, and AlignerBot dispatch possible. This lecture is for designers, lab managers, and AlignerBot operators setting it up for the first time. In about 10 minutes of real work, most of it the installer running, you'll have the agent installed, paired to your account, and readable at a glance from the tray. We'll walk the install, the pairing handshake, and the approval in your browser, plus every way the handshake can go sideways. Follow along, or listen now, and read the written guide later. 3 checks before you download anything. First, the platform. The agent is Windows only, Windows 10 or 11, 64-bit. Macs and Linux workstations aren't supported, so if you're on a Mac, your lab manager will need to dedicate a Windows box for AlignerBot work. Second, know which email you're pairing. It's the same address you sign in to app, cympha.com with, and you'll type it into the agent during pairing, so have it ready. A typo here is the #1 cause of a pairing that silently goes nowhere. Third, and this one is easy to miss. Open app, cympha.com in your default browser and sign in before you start. The approval you'll give later pops up as an in-app modal on whatever Cympha page you're on, and if you're not signed in, that modal has nowhere to appear. Step 1. Get the installer. Sign into app, cympha.com. The app links you directly to the installer file, and the easiest trigger is clicking Upload via Agent on any case when no agent is installed. That opens an install dialog with the download link right in it. What you get is a single installer file, possibly with a version number in its name. Save it to your Downloads folder. A fair question at this point. Why isn't this in the App Store built into Windows? Because of what the agent does. It talks to local files, your scanner's export folder, your desktop planning projects, and it runs in your system tray. Store sandboxed apps can't do either, so Cympha ships a regular installer instead. Double-click the installer. The first time, Windows Smart Screen may throw its Windows Protected Your PC warning. That's routine for a newly downloaded installer. Click More Info, then Run anyway. From there it's a standard Next Install wizard, and the defaults are fine. Click Install, wait for the progress bar, and finish. The agent starts automatically, and a small Cympha icon appears in your system tray, bottom right of the taskbar next to the clock. On a fresh Windows install, the tray likes to hide new icons, so if you don't see it, click the Show Hidden Icons arrow, the little chevron, and look there. Hover it, and the tooltip reads Cympha Agent Manager. Icon present, tooltip correct. Installation done. Now for the part that actually connects it to you. Right-click the tray icon and take stock, because this menu is the agent's entire control surface. Show Window brings up the main window. Quit shuts the agent down. Pair to Cympha is where we're headed, and note that once you're paired, an unpair from Cympha entry appears there instead. Then 2 submenus for the agent's 2 watchers, and it's worth hearing what's inside each. File monitoring holds configure folders, start monitoring, and show pending files. Cloud monitoring holds configure workspace, start monitoring, show panel, and reset sync state. Both get a full lecture of their own, so don't worry about the detail now. There are entries for starting and canceling CBCT segmentation. And 1 entry is conditional. The AlignerBot submenu only shows up at all if GuideMia Ortho Plus is installed on this workstation. Its absence isn't a bug. It's a detection. Right after install, you're not paired yet, so click Pair to Cympha. A dialog titled Pair to Cympha opens, and it tells you the plan in its own intro text. Enter the email of the Cympha account you want to pair this agent manager to, then open Cympha in your browser, signed into that account, and approve the request. 1 field, labeled Cympha account email. Type the same email you used to sign in exactly, character for character, and click Send Pair Request. The agent posts the request to Cympha and starts polling for your approval. Now, the detail that confuses first-timers. Nothing else happens on this machine. No browser tab opens automatically. The agent just sits there saying pending, and it's your job to switch to the browser yourself. That's not an oversight. It's the security model, and it deserves its own slide. Think about what just happened from a security point of view. Anybody who can run an installer on your laptop can type your email into a dialog. That half of the handshake proves nothing. So Cympha requires the other half to come from somewhere an imposter can't reach, your browser, where you are already signed in with your own credentials. The approval is granted by the real you from a separate, authenticated session. That's why pairing needs the browser side, and why the agent can't just complete it alone. It's the same pattern you know from pairing a phone to a car or approving a new device on a mail account. The request comes from the new thing, but the trust comes from the thing you already control. Keep that model in mind, and every step that follows makes sense. Switch to your browser, on app, cympha.com, signed into the same account whose email you typed. Within a few seconds, a modal pops up on whatever page you're on, titled Cympha Agent Pair Request, and it reminds you to approve only if you triggered this from your own machine. Each pending request shows the workstation's hostname, the operating system, the agent version, and install ID, a short identifier that lets you tell laptop from desktop, and when it was submitted and when it expires. Verify the hostname matches the machine you're sitting at, then click Approve. Deny anything you didn't initiate. The modal closes once nothing is pending. If it never appeared, switch to another Cympha tab and back, or refresh. It's fetched when the app mounts or regains focus. Back at the agent, which polls every 3 seconds, the pairing dialog closes and the pairing token is recorded. You're paired. Understand what you just created because it outlives almost everything around it. The pairing is stored as a long-lived credential in your Windows user profile on that workstation. Signing out of Cympha in your browser doesn't touch it. Restarting the machine doesn't touch it. Even upgrading the agent to a new version doesn't touch it. Pairing survives upgrades, and you will never repeat this ritual on this machine unless you choose to. The flip side, undoing it is deliberate, and it has 2 halves. On the workstation, unpair from Cympha in the tray menu forgets the credentials stored on that machine. And on the account side, the paired agent section of your Cympha profile lists the machines you've paired. Remove a machine there to clean up the account's view of it. Machine side, account side, forget the credential, revoke the record. So what did all this buy you? For capabilities, each opt-in. Cloud monitoring is the big one. Open its submenu, choose Configure Workspace, and pick a local folder. From then on, the agent subscribes to your Cympha cases, and when one is assigned to you, or to AlignerBot, the files land in that folder automatically, with a brief tray toast each time. File monitoring stays off by default. Turn it on if you want the agent watching your scanner's export folder and offering to create a case whenever a new file appears. Useful chair side. Unnecessary for pure design work. If OrthoPlus is installed, the AlignerBot submenu gives you Configure and Start, with a read-only status line showing the live worker state. And updates. When a new version ships, the agent shows a banner with a download button that opens your browser. It never installs anything itself. You run the new installer when you choose, and the pairing carries over. Almost every problem lives in the handshake, so here's the map. 3 on this slide, 3 on the next. If the approval modal never appears, confirm you're signed in with the exact email you typed into the agent, and try focusing another Cympha tab and back, or refreshing. The modal is fetched when the app mounts or regains focus. And here's the quiet failure worth memorizing. If the email you type has no Cympha count at all, nothing happens anywhere. No error, no bounce. The request simply expires without ever reaching a human. So when nothing at all is happening, suspect the address first. Requests are valid for 1 hour. After that, the agent tells you plainly that the last pair request expired and to send a new one. Second symptom. The modal appears, but shows a workstation you don't recognize. Each row is 1 pending request, and if you clicked Send Pair Request more than once, impatiently, you'll have several rows. Approve the one whose hostname and submitted time match the machine you're actually sitting at, and deny the rest. Third, the agent dialog still says pending after you clicked Approve. Give it a moment. It polls every 3 seconds. If it stays stuck beyond that, click Cancel in the agent dialog and try pairing again. And if it's still stuck, your workstation is probably behind a corporate proxy blocking Cympha's API address, which is a conversation with your IT team. The other 3 sit outside the handshake itself. If you paired with the wrong email, easy to do when you have a personal and a work address, right-click the tray icon, choose Unpair from Cympha, then pair to Cympha again with the right one. But remember the 2 halves we talked about. Unpairing on the desktop only forgets the credentials stored on that machine. To clean up the account side as well, also remove that machine from the paired agent section of the Cympha profile it was wrongly attached to. If the AlignerBot submenu isn't in the tray menu, nothing is broken. GuideMia OrthoPlus simply isn't detected on this workstation. Install OrthoPlus first, then restart the agent manager, and the submenu appears. And if Windows Smart Screen still blocks the installer even after you've clicked Run anyway, that isn't stubbornness on your part. Your IT department is very likely enforcing Smart Screen in strict mode. They'll need to whitelist the installer or run it for you under an admin account. The agent is installed, paired, and idling in your tray, which means every agent-powered workflow is now open to you. The natural next lecture is the one on Cloud Monitor and File Monitor, where this workstation starts pulling cases down and watching your scanner folder. If you're setting up a lab for AlignerBot, the lab setup lecture puts this piece in its larger context. And one dependency worth repeating from the written guide: the agent only has cases to pick up once your lab's AlignerBot service is enabled. The lab onboarding guide covers that side. Every dialog name, every menu entry, and every failure mode from today is written down at cympha.com. Open Docs and find Install and Pair Cympha Agent Manager. If the series is helping, subscribe. We're walking through every Cympha workflow one lecture at a time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.